Maybe in your daily life, you have noticed an increase of 3D printing to solve real world problems. 3D printing houses for less fortunate people in many countries. Also, some people are rebuilding coral reefs by 3D printing them. But how someone is able to 3D print something? Here is where the CAD program comes into play. CAD stands for Computer Aided Design Software. And nowadays, many of the softwares and programs or platforms are available for free, especially if you're an educator or a student. Some examples of CAD programs are Tinkercad, Fusion 360, Onshape, Inventor, and there's plenty more. In my classroom, I use Fusion 360 and Tinkercad. In the upcoming year, I will also would like for my students to learn how to use Onshape. And I can go maybe in detail in all the videos if you would like. What's the difference between each program, which one I may like or lean towards the most, or which one is appropriate depending on the grade level that you're teaching if you're an educator or a student. So how this works. So the first thing I tell my students, I give them a challenge and I tell my students to sketch with their measurements, visualize it, in paper and pencil. Then that sketch goes into whatever CAD program we're using because they already know what measurements they're going to use and how it's going to look like. So they're able to then sketch that into a CAD program. Once they're done with their CAD design, then they transfer that, they export that into an STL file, and then that file goes into a slicing program. There are various slicing programs. I usually have used Print Studio, Dremel Slicer, and Flash Print. So those are some of the ones that I have used. After students slice it in the program, then it's ready to be 3D printed. And I'm doing this with the sound on the back. I can't believe it. I didn't even notice. So yes, I am currently printing something to withhold some spheres in the water. So hopefully that turns out good. So what I was saying before the noise got me distracted, might get you distracted. I'm so sorry. I just realized that. So what I was saying is that once the students 3D print their designs, then they get a three-dimensional object, something like this. Okay, but usually this has been from past classes. Also in the art class, they were doing some 3D printing, but usually my designs have a purpose. Usually when they're designing in my class, they have a purpose. Whether it's a skill or a concept, they're building stuff in my classroom. They're building multiple pieces together to do something. It's not only, an object that I cannot do anything without it. They'll build them more than that, and I will show you as we go along in all the videos what my students have created. So I hope you find this video helpful. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I will post some more videos on how to introduce to your students a CAD program, how to 3D print, how to do lesson by lesson on different CAD programs. So hopefully you will stick around.